Hello, 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 and a warm welcome to those joining us on this transformative journey. So get ready because I promise you the day two is going to be an even more exciting step as we dive deeper into the world of Scrum. A big applause to Dado, actively participating and soaking in the key concepts of Scrum, taking it one step at a time. Dado, welcome back on day two.
Hello there, and thank you for this warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be back for day two of this Scrum Mastery challenge, and I'm excited to dive deeper into the key concepts and continue actively participating in this.
Okay, let's make it another insightful day. Before we jump into today's adventures, let's take a quick trip down memory line. Let's recap day one. Okay, so day one of our workshop, we explored the fundamentals of Scrum, which is a powerful framework designed to revolutionize product management. I was your guide on day one and kick things off by introducing the essence of Scrum and its Agile philosophy. Now we discovered that Scrum is not just a set of rules, but a mindset, a way of thinking that fosters collaboration, adaptation, and continuous improvement. And one of my favorite Scrum definitions involved breaking down a substantial project into 1 week to 1 month segments, ensuring continuous course correction and progress monitoring throughout development. This is one of my favorite Scrum definitions. So we didn't just talk, we dove into interactive exercises, Scrum poker game, fueled by the Fibonacci sequence. So changed us to rethink how we estimate and plan tasks collaboratively. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about embracing uncertainty and complexity in a fun and engaging way. And of course, more accurately navigating the challenges presented by the dynamic nature of the. So moving beyond theory, we step into real-world scenarios, examining the pitfalls of the traditional plan-driven approach. So the discussion unfolded the challenges faced by the team developing software without the Scrum framework. So we experienced different problems that come with fixed scopes, strict deadlines, and minimal client interaction. And I believe it was an eye-opener, showing the limitation of conventional methods. Now we both sparked meaningful reflection on the complexities of mastering Scrum. We explored why Scrum isn't just a walk in the park. It demands shift in mindset, organizational change, soft skills, technical skills, and more. But the benefits and the traits are worth it. So for those just stepping into the challenge today, no worries. You've got golden opportunity to catch up on the old excitement and insights from the day ones. Dive into the day one session to immerse yourself with the Scrum foundations. Okay. Now here's the exciting part. I'm your guide in this journey, and day one wasn't just a lecture; it was a live demonstration of how Scrum teaching looks in action. So why is this important? So choosing the right Scrum books, online course, or a mentor is not just about content. It's about teaching style. It's about engagement and the real-world application. So please keep this in mind as you embark on your journey to learn anything or to learn just Scrum. So I showcased how Scrum concepts come to life through interactive exercises, real-world examples, and collaborative discussion. So it's not just theory, it's practical, hands-on learning that sets the stage for entire challenge. So for those who missed day one, grab the popcorn, head over to day one session, and witness Scrum teaching in action. And trust me, it's more than just a journey, it's an experience worth having. Now, that we lay the groundwork for day one, let's ready to dive into the heart of a Scrum on day two. But wait, there's an extra layer of excitement awaiting you. Today, Not only we will unreveal the intricacies of Scrum roles, but we will also delve into unique opportunities for our live participant, Dado. So picture this as a story of your potential success throughout the upcoming content. It's like a series of stepping stones leading you to understand how your life can be transformed by mastering the Scrum. This isn't just a big fancy promises. It's about dropping those little breadcrumbs that reveal the potential for you to become exceptional in one of the Scrum roles. Okay, now first we'll explore the opportunity, showcasing how your life can change your business. It's about envisioning that transformation and understanding the path to becoming a professional. Fasten your seatbelt as we'll dive into day 2, not just as learners, but as individuals with the potential to redefine our professional journeys through Scrum. Self-discovery is a pivotal aspect of the Agile journey. The realm of Scrum, it's not just about adopting a set of practices, it's about understanding ourselves, team dynamics, and how to thrive in ever-changing environments. Agile journey is a personal one where individuals uncover their strengths, areas of growth, and how they can contribute most effectively to the team's success. So, Dado, are you ready? Before we delve into the intricacies of Scrum roles, let's take a moment to understand your professional landscape. Now, I've prepared a couple of questions to deeply understand your professional landscape, your daily work and activities, the challenges you are dealing with, and how you are managing them. And while you are answering these questions, I will make some notes, if this is okay with you. And this way I can determine, I can try to determine how Scrum could be beneficial for you and your organization, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's start with the question number 1. Okay, so can you give me an overview of your current roles and responsibilities at work?
Certainly, Dan. So when we talk about this area and link it with my job, an important part of my job is project implementation, definitely, which is done in a traditional administrative way, as I said on the first day. So in addition to this, I also work in the field of improving the provision of services in the administration, where the focus is on total quality management and user satisfaction management. So as you can see, a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room for maybe Scrum and Agile here.
Yeah. Okay. It's fascinating to see that the dual nature of your role, combining the project management with the service enhancement. So your role seems dynamic and demanding. Now, could you provide more insights into your day-to-day tasks? What does a typical work day look like for you?
So my work days are a bit of a juggling act, filled with diverse tasks from various areas. So reminders and calendars have become my trusty companions, actually, helping me navigate through my hectic schedule. And there are moments when I feel a bit scattered, but I'm committed to ensuring it doesn't impact my work colleagues. So we convene every 1 or 2 weeks in department meetings, discussing ongoing tasks, coordinating
1 to 2
efforts.
weeks, right?
Yeah, 1 to 2 weeks. We coordinate also efforts. We share updates. Additionally, individual meetings with colleagues are scheduled as needed, if needed.
Okay. So your insights are valuable. And moving on, can you shed light on the types of the project or tasks that typically fall within your professional domain.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yes. In my role here, the projects I handle they are often initiated externally, with my institution being the primary beneficiary of those projects. Unlike some professionals who write projects, most of my work comes down to implementing projects. And these projects predominantly center around HRM, human resources management, and service delivery. Although it doesn't sound like it, that these are the most difficult projects to implement. And the reason is that most of these projects have people as their target group, you know. And I believe that sometimes
Yes, I know.
yeah,
Dealing with
yeah,
people, yes.
yeah. I believe that sometimes it is much easier to create a new website, to develop a new website than to change the mindset of a manager, So that's why I'm telling this, That's why it's so difficult,
Excellent. Now let's delve a bit deeper. Are there any specific challenges or pain points you encounter in your current work environment? Anything that you can remember? So please share your thoughts freely. It's a safe space. And by the way, the space for your team in Scrum is a place where you can share your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions without being judged or criticized or punished. It's a place where you can be yourself, express your ideas, and learn from others. So a safe space for your team in Scrum is essential for creating a high-performing, innovative, and engaging team. And this means that the team members feel comfortable speaking up, asking questions, giving feedback, and admitting mistakes without fearing negative consequences. Psychological safety fosters learning, creativity, and innovation in the team. So creating a safe space for your team in Scrum is not a one-time event, but a continuous process that requires commitment, trust, and feedback from everyone involved. Now, why is this important? Because by creating a safe space for your team, you can enhance the team's performance, innovation, and engagement, and deliver more value to your customers and stakeholders. So, are there any specific challenges or pain points you encounter in your current work environment?
Well, anyone who says that he or she is not facing challenges these days is lucky, which I believe is rare, or lying, That's my opinion. So the most significant challenge is the constant decrease in resources needed for work, The other thing is that the world of work is constantly evolving. We have witnessed some radical changes in recent years, an increase in remote work, flexible working arrangements, introduction of artificial intelligence, an increase in diversity within labor, so many other things. So it becomes a bit hard to follow all the trends we encounter.
Yeah, I appreciate your openness, Nado. Adding to such dynamic changes indeed requires a resilient approach. Now let's explore further. How would you describe the overall work culture in your organization?
Well, it is a typical administrative culture, with bureaucratic mindsets, and they sometimes have a strong resistance to change. But as I said before, the world of work is constantly and rapidly evolving, So people will have to adjust. It's a must, So if I remember correctly, the American businessman Alvin Toffler predicted in his book Future Shock in 70s, I don't know, maybe even 1970.
Yes.
That he said something like that: the illiterates of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. So
Yeah.
it seems that he was a good futurist, because we witnessed that this has already become a statement that we fully understand these days, and we see it in everyday work here.
Mm-hmm. And how does your team currently handle project management and collaboration?
A typical waterfall approach to project manager, where we plan a clearly defined sequence of project phases. So usually the first part of projects is analysis, which is not so detailed, because our project plan, TOR, already has some important milestones that cannot be changed. So after this initial report, after the analysis, so after this initial report is done and formally accepted, we move to project implementation, which is completed after a final report. So really a straight line in project implementation with not so much turning back and adjusting.
And can you share any specific instances where a project faced delays or roadblocks?
Yeah, definitely, sure. So we had and still have some problems with one, let's call it successfully implemented project. We wanted to introduce a specialized HRM software. We had previously seen that another institution has the same software, which only needs smaller changes, adaptations to our context. We don't work in the same environment, but have the same needs. So we defined terms of reference in this manner. And when we started working on this, the IT guys saw that it would be a bit tricky to adapt someone else's software. And that it would be, and that it would be better to do everything from scratch. But this was their proposal to do it within the same budget because it cannot be changed, So the project board had a different opinion. They said that it was not possible to change the project during this implementation phase. So we got the final product, which was satisfactory in the end, but it was really, really far from great.
Well, I have to say that it's not uncommon to encounter such challenges in the project, and your example resonates with the situation that I've encountered in the past. So I worked in a similar project where the initial plan faced unexpected hurdles during implementation. It's a situation like this that makes a compelling case for exploring Agile and Scrum. This project of yours could serve as an excellent case study for us to delve into during in our Scrum challenge, right? So we can examine how Agile practices might offer solutions to navigate such complexities and adapt to evolving project requirements. Okay, now let's move on. Now, what is the typical feedback loop like in your current project management approach?
So as I mentioned in the previous explanation, we have project boards, Those people get reports and presentations from companies that implement projects. It's usually, 3-4 times during the project implementation. And they only worry if all boxes are checked when it comes to the original terms of reference and what has been agreed in the public procurement procedure. So the public procurement procedure, which was done before the start of the project. So there have been cases where we wanted to change or adjust some things, but were not able because, as they say, that had not been prescribed in terms of reference and tender documents. So this is also readily accepted by implementing companies. They like it too, because it is easier and cheaper for them to stick to original plan. So that's what it looks like.
So based on what you shared, it sounds like your project board is a big deal.
Definitely.
They get updates from the companies during the project a few times during the project, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But here's the catch. The main focus is on sticking exactly to the plan laid out at the start and what was agreed upon before the project kicked off. This means that there were times when you wanted to switch things up a bit, but because it wasn't in the original plan of those fancy documents from the start. It was no go. Am I correct?
Yeah, again, you're correct.
So, so do you see the problem here? I mean, who can realistically plan out a 6 month, a year, or more in advance? So even there are no changes in the market, which is unlikely in the long run, they would have to predict every aspect that needs to be built. I can confidently say that for most projects, that's not possible. Okay, so this rigid way of doing things can make it a bit tricky when you need to make changes, as we all need to make changes from time to time. So from my own experience, Agile frameworks like Scrum can make it this easier. They have a more flexible way of getting feedback and adjusting things as you go. It's like a smoother ride when the road ahead isn't straight as planned. Curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, I wasn't even sure if making changes, even small ones, after the plan is set in stone was a thing. If it's possible with Agile and Scrum, that sounds pretty great to me. We as a system are not used to working in a flexible and changing environment, and I'm intrigued to explore how this flexibility works in practice, actually.
Well, Agile and Scrum are designed to embrace changes, even late in the project. Now, it's not to say that it is impossible to do it, to make changes within a waterfall model, but the process tends to be more intricate. Changes requests become more formal, often leading to complexities, increased expenses, and potential shift in deadlines. It's a crucial difference in approach, and I will be happy to delve deeper into this in our further discussion. Okay, the next question. How do you and your team adapt to changes in the project requirements or client needs?
It is hard to fight windmills on an everyday basis. Legalistic, bureaucratic minds are tough opponents.
Yes.
And what we do is that we don't go into too many details in terms of reference. That's a trick, when possible.
Interesting.
But but leave some room for adjustments. This leaves some room for adaptations. But the problem is that this is not a prescribed and systemic approach, but actually some tricks on how to get better final products.
Understand. So you're kind of keeping things up a bit flexible, but not getting too deep into the blueprint. It's like having a few things up your sleeve to handle the strict rules instead getting good results. It's not a perfect system, but if it works for you now. Yet it makes me think that maybe there is a better and more organized way to handle this, and that's where Agile methods like Scrum comes in. They offer a more straightforward way to manage challenges and still get great outcomes. Okay, now we'll talk about that. Now let's finish this brief screening with the question. So in your experience, how important is collaboration and communication within your team?
Sharing information and the frequent communication is essential for success in whatever we do. So everything we do must be coordinated towards common goals. Without coordination, tasks are a bit fragmented and fuzzy, and then the result is a lack of efficiency and delays. One other important issue is that employees need a sense of purpose in the organization, which is enhanced through this collaborative work. And also, I have just been to the presentation, which emphasized the importance of teamwork and communication, and in even learning and development. I could go on like this for hours, but you get my point that I find collaboration and communication within any team, not just my team, a crucial success factor in whatever you do.
Mhm. Well, it's clear that you believe in the power of communication, collaboration for achieving success. So when everyone is on the same page and working towards common goals, it creates a more efficient and streamlined process. I completely agree that the sense of purpose and collaborative work can significantly enhance the overall effectiveness of the team. And it's interesting that you recently attended the presentation emphasizing the importance of teamwork and communication in learning and development. It sounds like you're truly aware of the impact these factors can have on achieving positive outcomes. Okay, so thank you for sharing those valuable insights into your work and the challenges. Now, as we delve into the intricacies of your current work environment, let's pivot toward exploring the opportunities that Scrum could unlock for you. So, I took some notes while you were talking, and this is your next lesson. When working in Scrum, you need to take notes. It will make your life easier later. So, based on my notes and our discussion so far, let's talk about some potential opportunities I've identified. There might be more, but for this initial overview, let's focus on these key points, okay? So considering your project in HRM and service delivery, imagine the efficiency gains Scrum could offer, which is iterative cycles, and you could continuously refine project elements, ensuring that any changes or adaptation needed are smoothly integrated without disrupting the entire process flow. So how do you think this might streamline your process implementation process?
Well, thinking about it in HRM projects, where requirements can evolve and usually do evolve, Scrum's iterative cycles would actually be a game changer.
And can you elaborate on what do you mean by that?
Well, we could refine employee management modules or service delivery components in short cycles. If we identify a need for adjustments during implementation, as you said, it won't disrupt the entire flow. This efficiency boost could mean delivering higher quality results within the same time frame. And although bureaucratic, I believe that nobody would complain about such refinements in planned activities, since the most important thing is that the results of such changes are what matters, what actually matters in the end.
Excellent. Now, let me share another thing as a potential opportunity for you. So we touched on the challenges of adapting to unexpected changes in your project. Scrum, with its emphasis on adaptability, could provide a structured and yet flexible framework. So making changes later in the process, which could be difficult in traditional approach, become easier to handle. So can you think of the specific instance in your past project where this adaptability could be a game changer?
No, yeah, definitely, absolutely. So there was this instance where midway through a project, we needed to adjust the scope due to unforeseen circumstances, let's call it this way. So with Scrum, I imagine we could have seamlessly incorporated those changes without causing a ripple effect. It's like having the agility to pivot when needed. So ensuring we stay on track regardless of those unexpected twists that occur.
Exactly. So you're already getting an agile mindset, and I'm so happy to witness this. And another thing that I would like to stress out as a potential opportunity for you is a collaborative culture. So Scrum places a strong emphasis on a collaboration and communication. So imagine a workplace where tasks are coordinated seamlessly, creating a more cohesive team dynamic. So in your day-to-day tasks, how do you envision this collaborative culture positively impacting your team's effectiveness?
Collaborative culture is something I've always seen as a way towards success in my job. So, as I can understand so far, Scrum takes it to a new level. I can only imagine the added value of this kind of approach. I guess the meetings I quite regularly hold with my colleagues would become more than just updates about actual strategy sessions, you know. A kind of a shift from repetition sessions to brainstorming kind of a session, if I get it right here.
Exactly. With everyone on the same page, task would be more streamlined, resulting in efficient team dynamics. I remember when I saw my team finally start to foster a culture where everyone's input is valued and contribution to our collective success. It was amazing. So we will discuss more about Scrum meetings later on this workshop, okay? And one more thing that I see as a potential opportunity is continuous improvement. The concept of continuous improvement is fundamental in Scrum. One of the official Scrum events is the Sprint Retrospective meeting. Sprint Retrospective allows teams to reflect on what worked well and what could be enhanced. So, by the way, we will talk about in detail Scrum meetings on today, don't worry. But how do you see this systematic approach to improvement influencing the quality of your project over
time? I'm not sure I got this, you know. Sorry.
Okay, let me be more precise. Continuous improvement is a mindset I strongly believe. Scrum's regular retrospective sounds like a dream. We could sit down every few weeks, analyze our processes, and fine-tune them. It's not about fixing what's broken. It's about making what's working even better. So over time, this approach could elevate the quality of our project, ensuring we are always delivering our best.
I especially like this part of not fixing what's broken, but focusing on improvements. You know, so this positive attitude is something I always approve, you know, and I always approve of and I use in everyday life and work. It sounds so simple and normal, but you don't see that often these days. Maybe it's time for me and my team to maybe change the way we work.
Yeah. Don't rush. In Scrum, we take it one step at a time. Okay. So I have one more thing as a potential opportunity for you. It's empowering teams. Creating a safe space for your team is a core aspect of Scrum. Team members feel empowered to share throughout thoughts and ideas without fear, without judgment. So can you visualize how this empowerment may boost innovation and engagement among your team members?
Yeah, definitely. Ideally, I can picture my team members openly sharing ideas without holding back at all. So providing mutual support sounds great, but I am uncertain about how we can achieve this. You know, it seems like a significant shift in mindset, as you often use this term on the first day, and I'm unsure of the steps and feasibility. You know,
creating that safe space for the team is gold. Well, let me share a simple example. So in Scrum, there is a practice called retrospective meetings, so held at the end of each sprint. It's a dedicated time for the team to reflect on what went well and what can be improved and how to make those improvements happen. Okay, so during these sessions, team members openly discuss challenges, suggest improvements, and collectively decide on specific action items for the next sprints. And this structured and yet open communication allows for continuous improvement. It's like a regular check-in where everyone has a voice and the focus is on solution and enhancements. By introducing this practice, you create a safe space for constructive feedback and encourage a culture of continuous learning and improvement within your team. It's a small step that leads to a more collaborative and transparent work. And the outcome of this is amazing. You would be tapping into a pool of creativity and innovation. And I can see this empowerment not only boosting engagement, but also creating an environment where everyone feels a sense of ownership of our projects. It's about unlocking the full potential of the team. Okay? Now, now that we explored the foundational aspects of Scrum, let's shine the spot on the stars of the show, the Scrum Roles. Think of them as the main characters in our Agile adventure. So are we ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's start with the Scrum Master. So we have three roles: Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Developer. So let's start with the Scrum Master. Hope you had a chance to dive into the Scrum Guide as a part of your homework assignment. So did you get through these 14 pages?
Yeah, of course. I did, actually.
Okay, so you are already familiar with the responsibilities of the Scrum Master. That's excellent. Now, besides the official definition from the Scrum Guide, I would like to share my take on the Scrum Master role. So think of the Scrum Master as the wise conductor of an orchestra. The job is to harmonize the team's effort, ensuring everyone plays in sync. Go beyond problem solving. They're advocates of the Scrum process, guiding the team towards Agile excellence. So from the Scrum Guide, what else should you recall about the Scrum Master's responsibilities?
So if I recall from the Scrum Guide, the Scrum Master is like a coach helping the team figure out how to do work better. Yeah, they are the ones asking the hard questions like what can we change about how we work, and what's our biggest sticking point. And it's not just about fixing issues, but also about ensuring continuous improvement.
Absolutely. The Scrum Master role is to eliminate obstacles, making sure the process itself is effective. They are not managers. Think of them as a mix between a team captain and the coach, facilitating meetings, ensuring transparency, and helping the team uncover what's getting in their way. Okay, and it's crucial to realize that obstacles aren't always about the broken machines or difficult team members. It could be the process itself. Okay?
Yeah. The Scrum Master, sorry for the interruption, guides the team towards continuous improvement, constantly asking how can we do what we do better.
Exactly, and that's more to the Scrum Master responsibilities, but we will dive into them in gradually. And I don't want to overwhelm you with the short sessions, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Looking forward to learning more there.
Okay, now let's delve into the role of the product owner. It's a pivotal position responsible for constantly updating the priority list and order of tasks. So the product owner is constantly updating the priority list, we call that product backlog, and order of the task that needs to be developed and delivered. Okay?
Yeah, it sounds like a crucial role to me too. Also, and reading through the document, I get the basic input on the role of a product owner. I would just like to know how they manage such a complex schedule.
Okay. So when you have hundreds items, their schedule can be very complex. The key is to uncover how to deliver as much value as possible as quickly as possible. So, and there are probably a million ways to order the priority list. One way you need to deliver those 20% of the product features that makes up 80% of the value in the shortest possible time. Please write this down. It's called the Pareto principle, or 80-20 rule. It states that 80% of the effects come from the 20% of the causes. Or in terms of the work and time management, 20% of your efforts will encounter 80% of your results. The product owner aims to prioritize the 20% of the product features that deliver 80% of the value in the shortest time. It's the constant process of updating and resetting the priority list after each sprint. So your first attempt in the first sprint will almost certainly not be the right one, but it will be your best attempt at that time. But that's just your first try. And here is another term, and I want you to write it down. The OODA loop, which is observe, orient, decide, and act. It's a four-step approach to decision-making that focuses on filtering available information, putting it in context, and quickly making them the most appropriate decision, while also understanding that changes can be made as more data becomes available. Okay? So after the first sprint, when you complete the OODA loop and deliver some kind of a product to customers, you will change that order, realizing that the second sprint is actually better. And then you continue like that, constantly updating and resetting the priority list after each sprint, leaning toward the task that delivers value faster. You will probably never reach the absolute perfect order, but you want to move towards it step by step, sprint by sprint.
Sorry, may I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Sure. So, if I understand correctly, the OODA loop helps in making swift decisions based on the available information. And this applies to Scrum by continuously adapting and improving priorities after each sprint. It's like an iterative decision-making process, if I understand it correctly.
Because the OODA loop aligns with the iterative nature of Scrum, enabling quick adjustments based on the real-world feedback. It's a dynamic approach to decision-making and prioritization. So if you are interested to learn more about OODA loop, you can just Google it, okay?
Yeah, thank you. I see the parallel now. It's about making informed decisions, learning from the outcomes, and applying those lessons in the following cycle.
And it's about continuous improvement and staying agile in responding to changing circumstances. And I will show you that in just a second, okay?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And especially since I like these loops and cycles, you know, in one part of my job, I tend to use the PDCA cycle. So I totally get this, you know. So.
Great. So it's crucial to remember that the schedule is always changing. The idea of workflow will not be the same as the next. So your environment has changed. You learn new things. You discovered that some things are easier and some harder. And therefore, this constant changing of the order from the priority list happening during every sprint. I mean, if you think about it, in today's world, things shift like crazy, especially with the last 3 years of craziness. COVID, shutdown, staying open, polarized media, mask, no mask, vaccination, no vaccination, and then inflation, recession, and all over again. Uncertainty can happen. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, definitely.
So instead of suppressing uncertainty, we should start accepting it, because it's the fact. So the key is to accept uncertainty, to be completely at pace with the fact that your current slice of the priorities and values is relevant and only at that one specific moment. It will change again and again and again. And this could be one of the potential problems you're experiencing. So a common mistake that companies often make, especially when market needs are constantly changing and managers are unsure where the most value lies, is trying to prioritize everything. This is priority. This is priority. It's all top priority. Okay. To them, everything is a top priority. We should remember the saying, he who defends everything defends nothing. In other words, if you don't focus on your resources and mental energy, they become increasingly irrelevant, right? And you have priorities, and you know where 80% of the value lies. So, you know, what and when do you deliver the product?
What do you mean by that? At the end of the project. What else?
Well, here Scrum can deliver value significantly faster. So whenever you make something, you want to put it in the hands of those who will actually use it as soon as possible. So you want this even before you make 20% of the product's functionality. You want this with something that delivers at least smallest part of the value. We call this minimum viable product. So this is another term, you can write it down. Minimum viable product, or MVP, okay? It's a version of a product with just enough features to be usable by early customers who can then provide feedback for future product development. Okay, so this should be the first thing you should show the public. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how effective does it need to be? You know, the thing you say when I imagine that, you know, is a semi-finished product that is never put into practice or used in our environment. It's such a practice here, you know, at least in the environment I work in, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it should really work, even if the person who made it might be embarrassed by it. But you must release the product to the public as soon as feasible. This will give you the feedback you need to start the decision loop and prioritization. You can say this is version 0.5. This is a camera that can take pictures but cannot focus. This is a dining set with only 2 chairs. This is, I don't know, distribution of vaccines in 5 out of hundreds of villages you are trying to help. Okay? It's almost laughable how unfinished it is. But what you get is a feedback. Feedback could look like this. The camera body is really awkward to hold because the shutter button is in the weird place. Or the wood used for the chairs is not similar enough for the wood used for the table. Or you manage to offer village chiefs with some behavior that you could maybe easily avoided. So in Scrum, we want to make those mistakes early with the little harm as possible. And then when you have the official release or start a major program, you will already be adapted and known that people really value. What people really value. Okay. So in this camera example, it may turn out that photographers said panorama mode and the ability to share photos on Facebook are equally valuable. Top priority. And then when they start using the camera, they realize that never used panorama mode, but constantly wanted to send photos to Facebook. And this allows you to first create the features that matter to them and release your product when you've done about 20% of the initial product. You know it's not perfect. It's really close. Even hours spent polishing the apple is lost opportunity to gain value. What is great about this process is that it repeats in releases over and over. When people have your product or service in their lives, they will tell you what the next most valuable things are. And then develop 20% of that and deliver again and again. With this gradual release process, In the time it would take you to create half the features in the initial product or project, you have now released 200% of the value in half the time. That's the real power of Scrum. Do you see how amazing this is? So it can fundamentally change not only how you work, but how you live. Do not focus on completing full listing of things from pin to locomotive. Focus on what is valuable, what people really need. And do you remember those stories from Afghanistan that were all over the media? The story goes like this. Some American company comes to town, looks around and says, these people raise chickens. Let's build them a chicken processing plant. So they spend millions of dollars building the most modern chicken processing plant. Doesn't occur to them that there is almost no electricity there, or the residents are more illiterate and not easy to train to use the equipment. And someone comes to town and asks people, what would really help you? And they say, you know, a pedestrian bridge over the river would really be helpful so that going to market no longer takes half a day. So pedestrian bridge costs a few $1,000s. Looks much less impressive than a big plant. It doesn't look as dramatic when reporting to bosses in Washington, but that bridge is infinitely most valuable to those people than the mother building with machines that have now begun to rust. Another thing worth mentioning is that sometimes you finish early. Let's assume that you produce the next generation of the alarm clocks for Apple. You have a list of a dozen features: clock, snooze button, timer, loud clock, loud alarm, I don't know, radio, iPhone dock, or GPS navigation, anything. So, but an experienced product owner, and by the way, we are now talking about the product owner responsibilities, okay? So as an experienced product owner, you prioritize what people really want. That is, an alarm clock is easy to set. Loud enough, maybe radio and display visible in both dark and light literal. So when your team finishes all that, you realize that they actually created one of the most elegant alarm clocks ever made. It's an Apple iPod of alarm clocks. It's beautiful, and it does the one thing that really well. Instead of telling the team to build additional features to it, you release that watch and start working on the next project. The team can deliver more value by doing something else. And do you remember the case study from the day one from our workshop, the FBI Sentinel project?
Yes, I do.
If you remember, an outside contractor spent hundreds of millions of dollars creating software that didn't work. One of the major sources are excessive costs here and in almost any other subcontracted businesses, whether it's a computer, software, airplanes, or buildings, are fees for changes. We call that change requests, or CR. So the accumulation of change fees is actually the business model of many government subcontractors. Maybe you have experienced it since you are working in the civil service. They will ask for less for the project, knowing that will profit from the change fees. Right? So when the contract is made for a multi-year project with all requirements listed in a nicely looking chart, it's tempting to say, that's it, everything is covered. The subcontractor says, I agree with this and only this. If you want to make changes, it will cost you. And this post-situation billing has become so common that companies and agencies now have change control boards. So from a cost point of view, this makes sense. Limit the number of changes and you will limit the cost associated with them. What these penny pitching people cannot understand is that they are setting up a system designed to deprive people of what they really want. They They are trying to limit costs, but in doing so, they are limiting learning, innovation, and creativity. Now, traditional project management is organized in such ways as to stop you if you start a project and realize some small way in which real value, and those 20%, does not reside in the features you proposed, but in another set of things you discovered by doing the job. It is organized in such a way as to stop the rapid delivery of value. In addition, the effort to enforce tight control does not work. So even with change control board trying to limit changes, the need for change is so great that it often overrides them. Because without change, there would not be value in the project. So reluctantly, change control boards approve changes and project cost more, and then next change that must be made comes along. Whoops! Here comes the next change, and so on and so forth. And soon the project exceeds the budget of millions of dollars, and it's late of 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, just like we saw in the Sentinel project. That is why the idea of free change is phenomenal. So free change, can you imagine free change? So in the standard fixed price contract, just say changes are free. So list all features you expect. For example, if you are building a car, let's say you are building a car and you want it to go 180 kilometers per hour for seats, air conditioning, and so on. Everything you will need for that car. The builder looks at that description and says, okay, taking that engine, I would say that's 100 story points. AC is 15. Seats are 5. So on down the list. In the end, each feature carries a certain share of points, and we call that story points. And then, in each sprint, the customer who is contractually obligated to work closely with the product owner in this scenario can change the priorities. Any item or feature of the priority list can be moved elsewhere. Okay?
And what about new features?
No problem. Just take out functionality equivalent features from the list of those and you will deliver. Let me give you an example. So now you want the GPS. That's 15 points worth of work. To compensate for that addition, let's take out the 15-point less important features from the bottom of the priority list. It could be air conditioning. It could be something else. Now, allow me to share one story. One Scrum programming company signed a 10 million, write this down, 10 million contract to deliver software to a large construction company. Okay? The two sides agreed that the deadline for completing the work was 20 months to 0. However, the Scrum company included one clause in the contract. If the construction company wanted to cancel the contract at any time, they could do so. They would just need to pay 20% of the remaining contract value. In essence, if the software worked the way the construction company wanted, it could potentially stop the Scrum company from further production. Potentially. Developers in the Scrum company started with sprints. They decided to go with 4-week sprints, 1-month sprint. After the first month, client redirected some of their plans to get more value. The second month, too. After the third month, client terminated the contract, took over the software, and put it into production. They had the value they needed.
But they didn't finish the project.
Okay. Now let's use some math to see how everyone was a winner. Now I will answer to your question too. So, if the first 3 months of the contracts, client paid $1.5 million. That's $500,000 per month. It's 3 months. It's 1. To the Scrum company during the development. Okay. Terminating the contract early obliged them to pay 20% of the remaining 8.5 million. It's 1.7 million. That means they paid a total of 1.5 million for development and 1.7 for early contract termination. So they paid $3.2 million for software that thought it would cost $10 million and got it 17 months earlier. But here's the funny part. They weren't the only winners. The Scrum company offered a contract with the expected profit of 15%. They spent 1.3 million developing the software in the first 3 months, but they got 3.2 million. Their profit margin increased from 50% to 60%. That's earnings increase of 400%. Now that the programmers were free, they could turn to new projects. This is not just a good deal, this is early retirement strategy. And this was made possible by building blocks of Scrum. By managing themselves as a multifunctional unit, the team was able to accelerate quickly and deliver more value faster. At the end of each sprint, one product increment was completed, it worked, it could be delivered instantly. Each sprint, the product owner was able to make a change to the priority list based on the client feedback. And when enough value was created for the client, stopped. So in this way, Scrum supports everyone's interest. The team, the Scrum Master, and the product owner, and the clients, and the company. And they all work towards fulfilling the same goal with the same vision, to deliver real value as quickly as possible.
Oh, that sounds great, really.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. It looks, this story that you told me, it looks like this is a win-win situation, yeah. So earning more money by delivering better products at a lower cost. This seems like a pretty great deal to me too,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about the creative force behind every Scrum project. Developers. They're not just programmers. Think of them as the heart and soul of Scrum, taking to talented musicians contributing to a captivating melody. So what comes to your mind when you think of the term developer?
A developer, well, that's a software professional who writes codes in computer programs in a specific programming language and something like that,
Well, in Scrum world, the term developer goes beyond traditional software development. Developers are the professionals responsible for crafting the project deliverables, and they come with various roles. While it might include software developers, its broader term encompasses anyone contributing to the creation of a product or service. It could involve analysts, testers, DevOps engineers, UX and designers, and many more.
But then why do you use the term developers for all of them? Isn't it a bit confusing, with software developers?
It's a good question. So the term developers is intentionally inclusive. It signifies those involved in the creating the product, not exclusively limited to software developers. If you are working on a product and contributing to the sprint goal, you are considered developer. So the skills required for developers can vary widely based on the type of the product or service. But regardless of their domain, developers are always accountable for creating the sprint backlog, aligning with the sprint goal, ensuring quality through a definition of done, adapting their plan daily towards the sprint goal, and holding each other accountable as professionals. And in Scrum, developers can be anyone from business development specialists, human resource professionals, and user experience researchers, to doctors, to nurses, and beyond. Key is that they bring diverse skills to a team. So let's put in the context of your typical tasks. So in your day-to-day work, I remember that you said you are improving the provision of services in the administration, where the focus is on total quality management and user satisfaction management. Okay. Now, these responsibilities involve optimizing workflows, enhancing communication processes, and devising innovative solutions to improve overall efficiency. So in Scrum environment, these tasks closely align with what we refer to as developer.
Yes, okay? So by working on plans for workflow improvements and by making sure changes contribute to our goals, so I'm acting like a developer.
Absolutely, right. Considering the scenario where you identify bottlenecks in communication and propose solution to streamlining, in Scrum framework, this would be akin to adapting your plan daily toward the sprint goal, holding yourself accountable for the quality of the changes, and collaborating with the team to ensure a cross-functional approach.
Got it here. So even though my tasks may not involve traditional coding, they align with the principles of Scrum and the role of a developer in creating valuable product increments.
Yeah, precisely. It's about recognizing the broad spectrum of skills and roles that contribute to achieving the sprint goal. And you, in your capacity, embody the essence of developer with the Scrum framework. So congratulations to you. Congratulations for being developer.
Thank you.
Now let's delve into some desirable qualities of a great developers within the Scrum framework. So the first one is build self-organizing. Being self-organizing means that the developers have the freedom to decide how to take to-do list or product backlog and turn into the usable parts of the product that could be released. In the Scrum, we call this product increment. So in simple terms, they figure out the best ways to get the job done. This means no one tells them how they will do this, not even the Scrum Master or product owner, especially someone outside the Scrum team. Okay?
So it's about the team taking charge and deciding the best approach to achieve the goals.
Exactly.
And without external influence, right?
Yes, it empowers the team with the freedom to choose their path based on their collective expertise and insights. And the next quality is cross-functional. So I guess we already covered it a little bit, but a cross-functional team in the context of Scrum means that collectively, the team possess all the skills necessary to create usable parts of the product, called that product increment. It's like having a diverse set of skills within the team, ensuring that everything needed to complete a task is right there among the team members.
So yeah. So it's, if I understand it correctly, it's about having a mix of different skills within the teams.
Yes.
To cover all aspects of our work. Mm-hmm. Well, it's something I try to do regularly in my team. And so you can see that not all Scrum features and qualities are a novelty to be.
Yes, and this is because,
if I may say so.
yes, and it is because Scrum philosophy has a lot of things in common with the common sense, whether it's a coding, testing, designing, or any other skills required for the project. The team has to cover it.
Yeah, but how do you assemble such teams, Because from my experience, it can be a bit tricky to gather such a, let's call it a dream team.
Yeah, I know. Well, finding such cross-functional team members for a Scrum team is a challenge. But it is possible with the right approach. Cross-functional team doesn't mean that everyone must be able to perform every task. It's about combining different skills effectively to achieve the team's goals. You can do this by encouraging continuous learning and promote a culture where team members are encouraged to learn new things and share their knowledge with others. Sometimes it's more effectively to hire individuals with the right mindset and then provide them with the training to develop the necessary skills. One technique I find useful is to use pair programming and cross-training. These practices allow team members to learn from each other and develop a wider range of skills. However, I believe the most important is to create a collaborative environment that values teamwork, open communication, and collective problem solving. Offer projects and tasks can challenge team members and allow them to stretch their abilities. So it's not about finding individuals who can do everything, but fostering an environment where everyone contributes their unique strengths.
Yeah, I see. And how to find out what skills are required within the team so they become self-organizing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. To find the skills needed for cross-functional teams, let's start by understanding the project breakdown tasks, analyzing user stories, what types of projects we are dealing with, collaborate with stakeholders, and assess the team's current skills. Also consider the technology required. I've given a brief overview here, but the detailed process will be covered in my paid programs. Okay? So this allows for a faster and in-depth exploration without overwhelming you with too many details in this brief chat. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. So okay, definitely.
Now, the final requirement for the desirable qualities of great developers is one of team mentality. One team mentality. It's all about collaboration and shared responsibility. In Scrum, there are no titles assigned to team members. There are no sub-teams. It's collective effort where individual members may have special skills, but everyone is accountable for success of the team as a whole. Okay?
Yeah. So again, it's not about individual roles. It's about everyone working together towards a common goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It fosters a sense of unity where each team member contributes to the overall success of the project. It's the essence of collaboration in Scrum. Okay?
Thanks for clarifying all those qualities.
Absolutely. It fosters a sense of unity where each team member contributes to the overall success of the project. This is the essence of collaboration in Scrum.
Thanks, Dan, for clarifying all those qualities. But I would like you to do for me is what I would like you to do for me is to demonstrate simple real-world examples of how these qualities are found in practice. Yeah, again, sure. The same request for me as on day one. So practice, practice, practice.
Yes. Sure. So let's say the team is working on developing a mobile app. So being self-organizing means they decide how to divide the tasks among themselves. Maybe one focuses on their user interface, another on coding functionalities, and so on. And cross-functional comes into play when each team member brings their expertise, which could be design, coding, testing, to the table. And the one time one team mentality ensures that despite their roles, they collaborate seamlessly to deliver the top-notch app or whatever product they're building. It's like a well-choreographed orchestra where each instrument, though different, contributes to the symphony. And there you have it. The Scrum team is small enough to remain nimble and large enough to complete significant work within the sprint, typically 10 or fewer people. In general, I found that smaller teams communicate better and they are more productive. But if Scrum teams become too large, they should consider reorganizing into multiple cohesive Scrum teams, each focusing on the same product. Therefore, they should share the same product goal, product backlog, and product owner maybe. So this dynamic collaboration among the Scrum roles forms the backbone of the Scrum framework, which each member contributing their unique talents to compose a symphony of productivity and success. Okay?
Yeah, so sorry for interrupting,
Yes.
but maybe a totally stupid question, but
No, there are no
is
stupid
it
questions.
possible that you can have just one developer in your Scrum team?
No. If the Scrum team is too small, it might face challenges. It's to be cross-functional, having all the skills to deliver a quality product independently. Small team may lack diverse perspectives, hindering creativity. Handling complex projects may be tough. A Scrum team should be complete significant work within the sprint for a releasable product. So the recommended Scrum size is between 3 and 9 people, excluding Scrum Master and the product owner. This range is based on the empirical evidence and practical experience from Scrum creators. And I can also confirm that this is the right approach. Okay, so far we touched on the product owner and developer's role. Now let's take a closer look at the typical day of the life of a Scrum Master. I will present a scenario, and together we will explore the situation and brainstorm possible improvement solution. Okay, are you tired? Do you need a break?
No. Thank you. Just go on.
Yes.
It's really interesting, and
Okay.
I would like to continue, please, if
Okay,
possible.
so here's the scenario. So let's say that you are a Scrum Master and this is your first day at work. Okay, so let's call it the scenario Dado's first day at Scrum Master as a Scrum Master at company ABC. So he walks into the office on his first day as the newly appointed Scrum Master at company ABC. The team is busy with their work and desks are filled with the hum of activity. He introduces himself briefly, mentions his new role, and assures the team that they should continue with their regular work and he is the only to observe and understand their current processes. So as the day progresses, he started to notice several aspects within the Scrum team and the office environment. So in the development corner, Alice and Bob are engrossed in their task with much interaction. Dado observes that team members are primarily working individually and seem to be minimal collaboration or exchange of ideas. The office lays also contributes to this isolation, with team members physically separated. Can you please write down all these names and what they are doing, okay? So over the project management area, Carol is struggling to get a quick overview of the team's progress. Dado notices a lack of visibility into the team's ongoing tasks and project progress. There are no visual aids or information radiators that provide a quick overview of the team's current activities or upcoming goals. The break room Dado overhears a conversation between David and Eve. Down. Realizing that the project informed is not freely following across the entire team. Data observes that this siloed communication may lead to misunderstandings and hinder the team's overall effectiveness. At the design desk, Frank appears focused on his tasks. There are subtle lack of enthusiasm or engagement. Data senses that the team might benefit from more interactive and participatory work dynamics. In the marketing corner, Grace and Harry, a bit confused regarding each other's role and responsibilities. It's not clear who is working on what, and here's a lack of clarity about the team members' overall objective. Towards the end of the day, during a chance meeting with Irene, Data learns that the team rarely conducts retrospectives. There is a limited time allocated for reflection and improvement discussion, potentially hindering the team's ability to address challenges and enhance their processing. As the day concludes, Dada prepares to share his observation with the team, addressing each member by name and discussing how they can collectively overcome these challenges and improve their way of work. So, great first at the company ABC, huh?
Yeah? Yeah, definitely.
I know you were observing the team and probably noticed a few things. Well, let's dive into it. I hope you did get some notes while I was presenting this scenario. And do you see any opportunities for improvement?
Okay, so I observed that Alice and Bob aren't collaborating much. And to improve this, I would initiate a team building session, maybe a casual lunch also. It's also a team building session to improve collaboration, or a collaborative task to break the ice and encourage better communication, maybe.
Okay, but collaboration is the process of working together to achieve common goal, right? So in Scrum, collaboration is essential for delivering value and usable increments of software in short time frames. In this specific situation, you have identified a lack of collaboration, which is great. But how we can improve this? And you mentioned taking team to lunch, which is okay, but in Scrum, we already have established events that support frequent interactions. And those events are daily Scrum, sprint planning, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. And we will talk about them tomorrow, our last day of the challenge. But by having frequent interaction throughout the Scrum events, team members can share their progress, challenges, and feedback. And this helps them align their efforts, avoid the misunderstandings, and resolve issues quickly. Communication and coordination are key factors for productivity, as they reduce waste and rework. So by empowering team members to make decisions and organize their work, Scrum fosters a collaborative environment where team members can exchange ideas, brainstorm solutions, and learn from each other. Collaboration also encourages team members to reflect on their performance, identify areas for improvement, and implement changes.
Yeah, okay? I see. Yeah.
And did you find anything else in this scenario that could be improved?
Okay, so let's see. So so Carol, yes, she seems to struggle with visibility. Yes, that was the term. So what I would suggest is maybe implementing a visual project management tool like a board with sticky notes or some other online tool to enhance transparency, actually. Also those quick daily Scrum meetings, they help everyone know what's going on also.
Yes, visibility is an important aspect of Scrum, as it helps the team and the stakeholders to inspect and adapt the product and the process. If the Scrum team members are struggling with the visibility, there are some ways to address this issue and enhance project transparency, just like you said, using a physical or electronic Scrum boards to visualize the work items, their status, and their dependencies. So you mentioned online tools. You can start with Trello, Trello.com. It's a free and easy to use. Just go to Trello.com. And one of the most popular paid solutions for this is Jira, okay, Jira.com. So another thing to improve visibility is to have frequent and effective communication and collaboration among the team members and the stakeholders. This can be done through the Scrum events, such as daily Scrum and sprint review and sprint retrospective. And these events provide opportunities for the team to share their work, get feedback, and improve their performance. Okay. What else could be improved?
Okay, so yeah, and David and Dave are keeping information for themselves.
Yes,
That
exactly.
was what I wrote. So what I would do, I would organize maybe a workshop where team members can have a brainstorming session on how to record and share information, facilitated by an HRM expert. You know, working in a HRM a lot, I really appreciate this area of knowledge management. And an experienced facilitator might get them to some simple but useful tools like Q&A tools, like simple document management tools, collaboration tools, joint rules and forms for recording critical knowledge and for recording critical knowledge and things like that, you know.
Excellent. Silos of information can hinder the team's ability to collaborate effectively, deliver value to customers, and improve their process. And you can use the shared platform or tool to manage the product backlog, the sprint backlog, and the entire work items. This can help the team to have a single source of truth, to track the progress of the sprint and communicate any changes or issues. Okay? And you can also establish a clear and frequent communication channels among the team members and stakeholders. This can ensure daily Scrum meetings, sprint reviews, sprint retrospective, and other forms of feedback and collaboration. And even more importantly, you can foster a culture of transparency and trust within the team and the organization. This can involve making information open by default, sharing the team's goals and achievements, and encouraging feedback and learning. Breaking down silos between team members can be done by creating cross-functional teams, involving stakeholders in the Scrum events, and aligning the team's objectives with the organizational goals. Breaking down silos can also be achieved by creating opportunities for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and innovation across organization. Is there anything else that you may be, I don't know?
No, not right now. That's actually all from my notes for the time being, but I believe it's quite enough for now.
Okay, let me give you a couple more areas for improvement in this scenario. So firstly, the low engagement of Frank. Okay, so have you noticed his disengagement? What strategies can we employ to boost his motivation and involvement? Well, what can we do? Well, in Scrum, it's not just a process, it's a collaborative way of working to deliver value and delight to customers and each other. However, there are times when the team might lose motivation, feel bored, or lack commitment. The Scrum Master, it's crucial to step up, take action, and help him to rediscover their passion and satisfaction. This involves education, proactive event preparation, facilitation, empowerment, and providing constructive feedback and compliments. By doing so, we can expect improvement, engagement, and enhanced team performance. And now let's address another important opportunity, which is undefined roles for Grace and Harry. Do you remember that? So clearly defined roles are crucial. So how could we approach defining and communicating roles within the team? Well, unified roles in Scrum can lead to confusion, frustration, and inefficiency. It's essential to have clear, agreed upon roles and responsibilities for each team member. To tackle this, we can review the Scrum Guide to understand the three Scrum roles and their expectations. Okay, so discussing with the team about how they want to organize themselves for a product delivery is also valuable. It's also important to avoid assigning multiple roles to the same person to prevent conflicts and overload. Regularly reviewing and updating roles and responsibilities, especially with the changes in the team or project, helps maintain clarity. And finally, there is a quiet retrospective. So, reflecting on Irene's example, there's retrospective seemed a bit quiet. So, how can we encourage more openness and valuable discussion during the session? Well, quiet retrospectives can signal low engagement, lack of psychological safety, or introverted personalities in the team. So to address this, we can use tools or sticky notes to collect anonymous or individual feedback, allowing team members to express their opinions without fear. So incorporating games, quizzes, or puzzles, or creative exercise can bring the ice and stimulate the team's thinking. Asking open-ended, specific questions fosters reflection and encourages sharing experience. Avoiding yes or no or vague questions ensures deeper and more meaningful discussions. And providing positive and constructive feedback while acknowledging contribution contributes to a more open and valuable retrospective experience.
So please correct me if I'm wrong. So,
yes,
but the Scrum Master's main job is to solve roadblocks and to make the team more productive, right?
Exactly. But there's just a part of it. A Scrum Master wears three hats. He's a servant leader, which means they help the team and the organization understand and use Scrum effectively. If there are any obstacles, the Scrum Master clears them away, making sure the team can deliver value smoothly. The second hat is facilitator. The Scrum Master makes sure all Scrum events, Scrum plannings, daily Scrum reviews, retrospectives run well. They encourage communication and teamwork, keeping things transparent and productive. And the final hat is coach. Scrum Master coaches everyone on the Scrum how to use Scrum and Agile practices. They want the team always to learn and get better at what they do. So, after diving into Scrum roles, especially the Scrum Master, product developer, what insights or observation do you have? How do you see these roles aligning with your goals and interests, considering your recent learning journey in Scrum?
Well, Dan, it's been quite enlightening, for me.
Thank you.
As we discussed the Scrum Master role, I realized the importance of being a facilitator, a coach, and what was the term? The servant leader. Yeah, it actually resonates with my passion for helping others and creating a collaborative environment. I really see it aligning well with my goal of fostering teamwork and efficiency. And when we talked about the product owner, the idea of being the bridge between the team and stakeholders caught my attention. It seems like a role that requires a good understanding of both of those worlds, and that challenge really excites me. It aligns with my goal of expanding my skills in both business understanding and technical aspects. And for the developer role, I like this broad definition, not the narrow one that I had before. So it's not just about coding. It encompasses a variety of skills and backgrounds. And that inclusivity aligns with my belief in a diverse and dynamic work environment. So I can see myself contributing to a Scrum team with my current skills and expanding my expertise in different areas. So I guess in my work, I've been in all these positions without really knowing that. No, the idea of a Scrum Master, the product owner, and developer, each playing a crucial role in project management, uh, aligns seamlessly with my experiences and goals of continuous learning, collaboration, and making a meaningful impact on projects. So it's like a putting a name to what I've intuitively done, and I find that quite appealing, really.
Mhm. It's amazing. It's really amazing to see, hear all that. So, can you believe you're almost at the end of the day 2? Time goes fly when you're having fun and learning valuable insights, right? Now, I want to share something exciting with you and with your audience. Challenge is just a glimpse of what's possible. And I've poured my heart and soul into creating a comprehensive course that takes things to the next level. So imagine this 8 intense hours of total immersion with me, where we dive deep into Scrum, and your perspective on the project management will never be the same again. I'll name it the Meteor Scrum course. We are talking 52 classes, 20 downloadable resources, and 2 knowledge assessments, and a couple of bonuses to sweeten the deal. So the goal of this course is to master Scrum fundamentals. We will cover everything from the Scrum framework and its components to prioritizing and estimating the product backlog. We will explore real-world examples, understanding Agile principles, and tackle challenges hands-on. It's a transformative journey for anyone looking to elevate their Scrum game. Here's the kicker. I'm offering an exclusive deal just for you and this challenge community. So the usual price is $197, but with the special 20% off, it's a steal for $158. Wait, there's only 10 spots available because I want to ensure each participant gets my full attention. Okay, so ready to take your Scrum skills to the next heights? Head to the provided link below, use the coupon code for your exclusive discount and secure your spot in the Meteor Scrum course. Let's make the most of this opportunity. All right, before we wrap up day 2, I've got some special homework assignment for you, especially for you, Dado. I want you to reflect on everything we covered today, particularly Scrum Master and Product Owner roles. Now, here's the assignment. Choose one aspect of either the Scrum Master or Product Owner role that resonates with you most. Once you made your choice, I want you to dive deeper into that role. Start with the Scrum Guide and then explore it further. Do some research, seek additional insights, and try to understand the nuances. Think about how the principles we discussed today can be applied in your current or future roles. And after you've completed your research, I would like to share your thoughts in the comments, and I will make sure to read all the homework and provide a personal response. Let's make this interactive and insightful. And additionally, I want you to know which Scrum role you feel aligns best with you after your explorations. So write down any questions that might have popped up during your research so we can discuss them in detail on the day 3. Okay? The assignment is not just about going through the motion, it's about solidifying your understanding, sharing insights, and gearing up for our session. The more you invest in this, the richer our discussion will be. I'm looking forward to hear what you have uncovered. And that's the wrap for the day 2. Dido, I hope you found it useful and insightful.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I just want to remind one more thing that for everyone engaged in this challenge, I want to offer a special opportunity. So if you are ready to take your Scrum knowledge to the new level, consider enrolling in my mid-year Scrum program. It's intensive course packed with the essence of Scrum delivered in just 8 hours. Plus, exclusive for this change, I'm offering 20% of the this course is a game changer, and with our 30-day money-back guarantee, there is nothing to lose. Act fast through the promo code is valid only during the challenge. And here is the link and promo code. And for those who just to join Meteor, I'm excited to be a part of your Scrum journey. If you enjoyed today's session, consider sharing the link to this webinar with your friends and colleagues. It might just transform the way they approach their businesses. Thank you all for participation. Dado, do your homework, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Until tomorrow, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.